I'm Kris Meier, VP of Product Management at a company called InfiniteIO. Thank you for spending a few moments with us. Let me tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do. Oops. All right, so we are a privately held company. Our headquarters is in Austin, Texas. We have offices in London, Atlanta, and San Francisco. We're really founded in 2014 by storage and network security veterans, and the network security becomes really important. We have some really novel methods for optimizing hybrid cloud storage using network security. We were founded really on the principles of making hybrid cloud storage both cost-effective and fast. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what are some of the challenges of integrating cloud storage, object storage with existing workflows? Right. So we know that up to 80% of your files are actually inactive or cold, right? But and we would like those 80% files to not chew up 80% of your prime tier 1 storage, right? When you know they're not going to be accessed again, probably ever. So ideally, you put those files on cost-effective storage like Cloudian Hyperstore. But on-prem apps, they run on files. Cloud apps, they run on objects. So we've got this discontinuity here. There's some approaches have been tried to fix this, to bridge this solution, right? We've had some virtualization technologies, we've had some stubbing technologies to kind of make objects look like files in the enterprise, but these are horribly complex, very slow, and they suffer from what I like to call data gravity problem. The data gravity problem is whenever a file transaction happens, that file will tend to be pulled back out of the cloud and brought back to your primary storage. So you couple that with the fact that up to 90% of your workflow requests are really for file metadata. So these are directory listings, access rights, last modified time. So these are really built into the specifications that kind of happen all under the cover. You don't know that they're going on. And so these metadata requests, they tend to bring those files back, and that's an issue. So we believe that maintaining consistent performance throughout your media workflow is really the only solution, the only way to adopt hybrid cloud storage. So let's take a look at what we do. So on your left, we have clients and applications. On your right, we have your on-prem storage, and of course your Cloudian Hyperstore. So InfiniteIO installs just like a network switch. It's non-disruptive. It installs right in front of your on-prem NAS storage. Once installed, we learn your active file set. Right? We learn what files are hot. We grab their metadata and we store their metadata in our in-memory database. Then we start answering requests on behalf of the storage behind us. So this NAS storage, we begin offloading all of the metadata work. Now, if 90% of your storage requests are metadata requests, we're now serving that directly out of memory on the network, offloading your NAS system so that they can go ahead and focus on reads and writes and not be concerned with metadata. Then we learn inactive data too. So we do a one-time scan of your file systems, and we grab the metadata for all of the files on your file system. So essentially, every file is hot in memory. So once we've grabbed all those file metadata, we keep that in sync with the storage behind us. We do this with a network security technique called deep packet inspection. So in network security, deep packet inspection is used for looking into TCP flows, cracking them open, looking for intrusions. And if they find an intruder signature, they'll quarantine that flow. We've applied the same principle, but to storage for the first time. So we look at every NAS request that comes through, we crack it open, we understand, we see all the requests, all the responses, we update our view of the metadata whenever we see the metadata come by, and so we're always consistent with the storage behind us. So once we've scanned all the files, grabbed all their metadata, I kind of like to think of this now as we have the ability to abstract the metadata from the data, right? So metadata is living in us, the data is here behind us. Now that lets us do a couple of things, right? One, we can now offload the metadata processing from your NAS storage, making your storage go faster. Two, we can accelerate. We can accelerate your workflow. So we're answering metadata requests at under 100 microseconds, right? So that's 10 to 50 times faster than your on-prem storage. So we're actually accelerating your workflows now. The second thing that we can do is we can move all of your inactive or cold data, right? So we have all the metadata, we understand what's hot and what's cold, and we let you move that cold data instantly to Cloudian Hyperstore, so a much more cost-efficient storage solution. So we let you do this in a couple of different ways. You can create time-based policies, move all files that haven't been accessed in the last 180 days, as an example. Or you can do it project-based, so move, when a project is complete, move all of the files in this directory and what have you. Now, since we have all the metadata, it's always current, it's always in memory, that process is instant, right? So we know what those files are, we can immediately move them to Cloudian and allow you to reclaim your tier 1 storage space. So a couple of interesting things that fall out of this. One, the files always look local to your clients and applications. There's zero disruption to your workflow, zero disruption while the files are being migrated. Everything looks like it's local, so there's no changes whatsoever in your workflow. The second thing is we're accelerating, all metadata access to under 100 microseconds. Doesn't matter where the file lives, right? The file could be local on your NAS systems. We could have migrated it to Cloudian Hyperstore. You're still getting that accelerated performance, and we're solving that data gravity problem that I talked about, right? We're responding to all of those requests ourselves. This is my last slide. So in summary, with InfiniteIO and Cloudian, you can reclaim tier 1 storage by instantly identifying inactive files, moving them to cost-effective Cloudian Hyperstore, can speed media workflows by accelerating file metadata processing, regardless of where those files live. This is all done with zero disruption, zero changes to your workflow. There's no stubbing, there's no client software, and there's no continuous scanning of file systems. Thank you very much.